Welcome back. This is Theoretically Edible Food, episode
3.
In this episode, we will be making rock sugar! Rock sugar is based on the concept of crystallization, which we will explain in greater detail later. You will need lots of sugar, some water, a heat-proof glass jar, a wooden skewer, and clothes pegs. Before we begin, make sure the glass jar has been washed thoroughly with hot water to ensure that it is clean. Prepare the sugar syrup by placing water in a medium-sized pan. Bring it to a boil. Add
2.
parts of sugar to
1.
part of water, 1 cup at a time. Stir after adding until it dissolves. Add as much sugar as you can until it cannot dissolve any further. Boil and stir the water for about
10 to 15 minutes.
after the last addition of sugar. Allow the syrup to cool for about
5.
minutes and pour it into the jar. Then wet a wooden skewer and roll it in granulated sugar. Balance it in the jar about
1
inch from the bottom with clothes pegs, making sure that it doesn't touch the sides. Allow the sugar to crystallize on the stick by leaving it alone in a cool place away from harsh lights.
Check on it periodically. The sugar crystals should start forming within a few hours.
Table sugar,
Or sucrose,
it's a disaccharide made of
glucose,
and
fructose.
which are two simple sugars, otherwise known as monosaccharides. They are joined together by a glycosidic bond. Sucrose is a molecule with
12,
atoms of carbon,
22,
atoms of hydrogen, and
11.
atoms of oxygen. Like many carbohydrates, it is found naturally in most plants, but is generally extracted from
Sugarcane! What happens when sugar is added to water?
The solid sugar crystals are dissolved in a solution. When it contains as much dissolved sugar in it as possible, it is saturated. Saturation point is affected by temperature. The higher the temperature, the greater amount of sugar that can be held in the solution.
This is why the solution is heated as sugar is added.
The sugar and water during candy making are cooked at high temperatures. At such high temperatures, the sugar remains in the solution, but most of the water has boiled away. Thus, when the solution begins to cool, there is more sugar in the solution than is usually possible, and the solution is supersaturated with sugar.
Coating the skewer with sugar before lowering it into the glass jar allows sugar crystals to form faster. This is because the crystals can build up on the sugar already present. The molecules of the forming crystals can latch on to the sugar molecules, building on to form larger crystals.
In science labs, copper-2 sulfate is a common crystallized compound. The process of creating copper-2 sulfate crystals is similar to creating sugar crystals.
Fill a small beaker with some water, then stir in as much copper-2 sulfate powder as possible. Continue adding more until the solution is saturated and no more copper-2 sulfate can be dissolved.
Pour the solution into a crucible and heat it using a Bunsen burner. After some water has boiled away, remove the crucible from heat and place it somewhere cool and dry. After a few days, the water will evaporate and you will have pretty copper-2 sulfate crystals. The copper-2 sulfate formed huge crystals after
3.
days. The sugar solution, however, is much faster and sizable sugar crystals were formed within
4.
hours. And done! You can eat your sugar crystals, but please don't consume the copper-2 sulfate.